your host, Apostle Lahavre Buck, and today we're going to be talking about relationships. Are you in a good relationship? Should you be in a good relationship? What is going on in your relationship? And this particular class will be talking about relationships, the relationship structure, how you should be in a relationship, some of the things you should think about while you're in relationships, uh, those kind of things. But this is called Within My Reach. This is a prep course that I was trained in out in Denver, Colorado, and I thought I would bring it to you today and let's talk about relationship. First of all, we need to know, are we prepared for a relationship? So within my reach is to help you prepare for a relationship. What you're going to do in a relationship, how you think about a relationship. And one of the first things I believe that you should do when you're thinking about being in a relationship is to think about, what do I want? What are the three goals that you would like in your relationship? What are the three goals that you would like to learn in this class? Three things that you would like to know, or three things that is a goal in your relationship. I think one of the most important thing about a relationship is that you have what you need. And to have what you need, you first have to decide, what is that? What do I need in a relationship? What do I need in a relationship? Not what they need in a relationship, but what do I need in a relationship? What will it take for me to have a relationship that really works? I say you could have as many as 25 things that you would like out of a relationship, but I think you should boil it down to just five. And out of that five, you should have two that are deal breakers. 25 could be, anything. I mean, it's up to you. What everybody needs something different. There's a book that is called The Five Languages of Love, and in that book, everybody has what they want. Some need time, some need money, some need understanding, some need commitment. I mean, support. Whatever your goal and objective is, what are those things? You need to sit down and think about, what do I need in a relationship? And then you need to think about, one of the greatest things about a relationship is, do you really like the person you see in the mirror? If you don't like the person that you see in the mirror, you're going to have a real problem with relationship, because you will be looking outside of yourself to fulfill the things that you should already have in yourself. In our church, which is Triumph Church and Kingdom of God in Christ, Bishop D.H. Harris had a saying that says, you're at your weakest point when you go outside of yourself. You're created in the likeness of the image of God, and everything you need is already in you. But it's nice to have somebody to share your time and space with, if that's something that you want. If there's nothing that's not something that you don't want, hey, that's all right. But we're going to talk in this class about relationship. And the class again is called Within My Reach. So let's think about, what do you want? What are the things that you want in a relationship? And also we want to think about today, what do you think relationships are like today? I'd like you to get a piece of paper and draw what you think a relationship is like today. What do you think relationships are like today? What do you think marriage is like today? And what do you think their whole goals and objectives are? And then we'd like to discuss that. Look back on it, and you look at it and say, what are you saying when you say these particular things, and what are you doing? So we have a few slides here we're going to be working with. And the first slide talks about relationship. Is it safe? Is your relationship safe? How safe is that relationship? How safe is that person with you? Is it physically safe? Does everybody understand what physically safe means? Physically safe means nobody puts their hand on me, nobody calls me out my name, those kind of things when we're talking about physically safe. Is this a physically safe relationship? Huh? Is the next thing is it emotionally safe? Emotionally safe. What does that mean? Emotionally safe. Can I talk to you? Are you abusing me emotionally? When we talk about physically safe, is anybody striking me? Am I being hit? And am I being shoved? That's physical. When people are pushing me around and that kind of stuff. And then there's emotionally safe. Emotionally safe is somebody running game on you. You're not worth anything. You're never gonna be nothing. That's emotionally safe. Can we talk about some things without you thinking or saying crazy things to me? Emotionally safe. Or are you emotionally abusing me? Talking about me, saying I'm not worth anything. Are you emotionally supporting me? Saying, I'm with you, I'm for you, I'm going to be here for you. Emotionally safe. The next thing is, are you commitment safe? Is this a long-term commitment? Long-term commitment. What are you looking at? What are you looking for? Is it long-term or we're just here for a minute? Everybody needs to think about, is this long-term or is this short-term? It's a real interesting piece when you talk about a relationship. We'll get back to that. The next thing is community safe. Do I have a good support system in the community that I'm in, where I can feel safe about being in a relationship? Everybody's not in a safe community, not meaning outside environment. We're talking about the people that I'm dealing with, the people that are interacting in my life, interacting in my home. Is it a safe community that I'm in? And then we're going to talk about if it's safe. Then we're going to talk about some of the things that we need, like safe community, safe. The next thing we're going to talk about, which is we have a pyramid here, and we want to add that to our situations. We like to add it, and it's a pyramid that shows us where's our relationship at. What is going on in this relationship? How do we see that? How do we see things going on? Is the relationship I'm in a very narrow relationship where this relationship is basically based on sex? If the relationship is based on sex, it's a very narrow relationship. And sex is a very minute part of a 24-hour day. I always say that what you're going to do for the other 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 49 seconds. Because it's a very short time that if your relationship is just based on sex, what are we going to do for the rest of the day? Do we like each other? Do we know some of these other things that we need to know? People get in a relationship, they move in with folks for all sorts of reasons. They need a place to stay. I always say when a person is homeless and finds somebody that has a house, that person looks better and better every day. Why? Because I'm in need of a place to stay. And if I'm in need of a place to stay, then I can, work with the situation, whatever it is, because I'm in a need of a place to stay. So, and a lot of times when people move in with people, convenience sake, they start to having sexual relationship, and what happens is, believe it or not, people get pregnant. Not intentionally. I don't know. I think it is intentionally, because if it wasn't intentional, how did you get pregnant? You should have done something that would prevent this from happening. And I find in my community over and over and over and over many times, people are constantly becoming in a relationship where they're in a sexual relationship and it brings about a child. We're going to run this piece in for you. See if you can't see this relationship piece that we're trying to get in here. It's called the pyramid, and we are trying to see if we can't get it to roll here. So the pyramid, it says that it's a relationship, and in that relationship, the first part of that relationship, the narrow part is the pyramid is sexual. Then the next, so you get in a sexual relationship with folks, but you don't know anything about them. Do you have the same thing in common? Do you have the same goals and objectives? Does everybody appear to understand what a relationship is? If you've never been in a relationship, how do you understand what it is? If you've never seen one work, how do you understand what a relationship is? Do you have the support you need from that individual? You know, after you get engaged into sexual intercourse, sometimes people don't think about all these other things. Is this a person I want to be with? Is this a person that would be a good mother or father for my children? Is this a person that's going to support me in and out of this life? Life is a long journey. And in that journey, everybody does not get along. But is this something that we can work out? Because, you know, you've already engaged in sex, but this should, the pyramid should be upside down. It should start with a wide base. Should be at friendship. Are we friends? Do we like each other? Many times folks have been in a relationship, engaged in sex, and never been on a date. You know, a date is something that you say, hello, my name is Buck. Would you like to go on a date? A date means that you leave one place and you go someplace else and have some kind of entertainment. It could be out for a hamburger, could be out for a movie, could be a party, a concert, anything. That's a date. A date is not you coming to my house and we just sit up and have sex and never go out anywhere, never do nothing together. That's not a date. That's a hookup. There's a difference in a hookup and a date. A date, you actually go somewhere. So, a lot of times people have never been on a date. That's interesting to me. Never been on a date. But yet they have children. How did it happen? How did it happen? So many times I'm trying to encourage people to abstain from sexual intercourse until you know the person, and also until you know if this is a person you would like to be with. And if you're not using any contraceptives, is this a person you would like to have a child with? And is this a person that knows what it means to be a parent? Now, all that has to do with sexual intercourse. If you're not thinking about that, you need to. If you haven't prepared for that, you need to. You may say, well, I'm on a pill or something. Well, then you got STDs and stuff like that, HIV. So you need to think about all the things that's going on when you're talking about getting into a sexual intercourse relationship with somebody you don't. Fly by night, whatever. So you need to think about, well, who is this person? What is their background? What is their family like? Is this somebody I would like to spend my life with? And you may say, well, I'm not ready to be married, and that's all right with me. But if you happen to have a child with this person, that person's in your life, and it can either be wonderful, miserable, or absent. So all of those things you have to think about when we're talking about a relationship. Am I ready for a relationship? Am I ready for a sexual relationship where I'm having intercourse with somebody that I really don't know? Do you really know this person? I always ask people, you know, if you take the sex out of the relationship, everybody's equal. Everybody's equal. A lot of times people don't ask the question. I've been with fathers who have children by people who don't like them, and they don't like them. Why? Because they were never there for a relationship. They were there for sex. They never asked the question, what do you want out of life? What are you about? What were your parents about? What do you think about children? Will you work? Will you help me work? Will you support me? Will you not support me? All of those things are about relationship. And before you become sexually active with a person, especially without contraceptives, you should find out some things about that person. Who is his family? Does he have a mother? Sure he has a mother, but I'm saying, does he have a mother that is active in his life? Does she have a father that is active in her life? Does this young man have a father? Has he ever seen anybody in a relationship that is actually happy, that is actually positive, that is actually two people trying to work together to make something go on? Many times people start in a relationship with sex, as we said before, the bottom of the pyramid turn upside down. Very small point. But the real way you should commit to a relationship is a wide bottom. Know something about the person. And then work up so that the actual sex becomes a crescendo of a very good relationship. So think about that before you start dealing with people in a relationship. So remember, know who the person is before you start going. So let's see what else we have here. All right, so we talked about sex, right? Well, let's talk about, should we move in together? Should we live together? What should we be about? Should we live together? So when people move in together, they say the couple who lives together before the couple actually engages in marriage, there's less commitment, less safe, satisfying relationship, more cheating on each other, and more problems with alcohol and depression. People who live together before they get married have less commitment. There's a difference in living together, as my mother said, shacking. There's a difference in shacking and being married. People who cohabitate, which is a large portion of the population today, are cohabitating. People who cohabitate before marriage often have a less satisfying marriage. Have more problems, alcohol and drugs involved in the marriage. They say there are more problems with communication. Let's think about that, communication. I let somebody move in my house. We start living together under the premise that things will get better, or we'll get to know each other. But that person never communicates. Do you think that somewhere down the road, just because you marry that person, somehow they're going to be better communicators? I don't think so. Only because you say I do doesn't change anything. I do doesn't change anything. I have a saying that only difference in a dog when it comes from the altar is it's been kissed and it has a ring on its paw. The person doesn't change. If that person was a dog before you married them, and somehow in the back of your mind you think that person's going to change, I'm sorry. I think you're in a rude awakening. Change is only done by the person. You cannot change anybody. You ain't that cute. You don't have that much money. You can't get that much time. It won't change. Nothing makes a person. Nothing. Person has to want to be in this relationship. You cannot make them want to be in this relationship. It also says that there's cheating in their relationship when people first live together. All of a sudden I hear people saying this is a open relationship. I love the word open relationship. It's open as long as you don't come in after me. If you come in after me, this relationship is closed, and somebody's probably going to get a DV charge, a domestic violence charge, because everybody's talking about this is an open relationship until somebody doesn't do what I want them to do, and now this is a closed relationship. Long as I'm dogging you, it's all right, but when you start dogging me, we're going to have a problem. The other part of that says that there's a low level of commitment and a low level of commitment between the partners when you have first lived together, when you have cohabitated together before you get married. It also says there are higher rate of divorce. Higher rate of divorce. The theory worked out where people said, we live together. We know each other. I don't really think people know each other until they actually get married. And I don't think they really know each other until after the 5 years they've been in marriage, because I think people are constantly not being themselves. For a better word, they are not being their true self. And until you say I do, there's no rules in a cohabitating or shacking relationship. But when you say marriage, people start thinking there's rules. Where you been? What you do with your money? Who you hanging with? Who you not hanging with? What we gonna do? How we gonna do this? Then it's a whole different story. I knew a young lady who lived with a gentleman for 5 or 6 years, and then she got married, and he never was the person she thought. She thought that he was just snap right in here and take charge and be the man that she thought he would. I've known guys who married women that thought that after they got married, that woman was going to start cooking and doing all the things that he thought they did. But if they hadn't done that while they were cohabitating, what makes you think they're going to do this when they get married? So, that's the two things we talked about today. We talked about sex before marriage. We talked about, are you physically safe, emotionally safe, commitment safe, community safe? We talked about if your relationship is based upon sex. It's very narrow. How's that relationship going to work out if you don't really know the person you're having sex with? Then we talked about, should we live together? Should we cohabitate? And they said if you cohabitate, doesn't say all, but if you cohabitate, there's less commitment, less satisfying relationship, more cheating, and more problems with alcohol and drugs. It also says that if after living together you marry, it seems that there's other problems that come into being. So more problems with communication, less satisfying relationship, cheating. I wonder why. Well, this is LaHavre Buck, Apostle LaHavre Buck with Triumph the Church and Kingdom of God in Christ. All right, follow this. Hopefully we'll be streaming weekly, once or twice a week. Look us up on Facebook. We'll be talking about streaming, Facebook, LaHavre Buck, LeHavre, Buck, B-U-C-K, and also on on YouTube. So, hey, have a good day. Thank you very much for listening to this broadcast. Hopefully, it was a help to you. Hey, this is new to me. I'm trying to get all the hooks and wrinkles out of it. Got any questions? Hit me up on Facebook. Shoot me something. Let's talk about it. God bless. Have a fantastic